What's cracking, everybody? Zarfel Rose here with Maggie, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle content, and she, instead of going to bed, had a cookie. So she's wired. She's good. So anyway, today we are talking about this team that I ran with Azumarill because I got so tired of seeing all these Blaziken leads after everybody and their mother in the content sphere made videos about it. So here we are with an anti-Blaziken team. Two-thirds of one anyway. Sandslash is in the back to be the core mate to Azumarill. Kingdra is still the OP safe swap that I love it to be. And Azumarill's in the lead to catch the Blazikens off guard and hopefully also get the Bastiodons and things that I just don't care to deal with. So anyway, let's just jump straight into the battles here and just kind of check them out and see what this is all about. So we've got in the lead here in this first battle, we've got a Blaziken. And you know what? That's exactly what I was doing. I was trying to play some other teams the other night, and I just got so fed up with it. I'm like, you know what? I didn't think Azumarill was going to have a place in this meta with all the Razor Leafers and the Poison Jabbers, but apparently it's got a place now that everybody plays Blaziken. So, going to counter swap my Alolan Sandslash into this Razor Leaf Ludicolo, and that's going to allow me to get a nice fat farm down after they throw that Leaf Storm. So, especially with their attack drop after throwing that move. Got a koala. She's ready. So I'm going to go and I'm going to bait my Ice Punch here because I'm going to be able to get to an Ice Punch and then a Bulldoze. So by doing this, I'm able to either nab both shields or do a lot of damage to this Blaziken before going down, and thankfully they get both shields, and that's amazing. My opponent's going to come in with a Tentacruel, and now that they have no shields, I'm going to come in with Kingdra. And you know, it's funny that nobody but me was playing Azumarill, and yet everybody and their mother was like, I'm ready with a Poison Jabber. That hard counters, but you know what? It's fine because I have a Kingdra and an Alolan Sandslash, and I'm just trying to make it work out here in this crazy RPS wasteland that is now the Weather Cup. So my opponent's going to be able to farm me down, and thankfully, because of Azumarill's gigantic fat bulk, the Blaziken will not be able to farm me down or even get close to taking me out, even with a Brave Bird. So the Brave Bird don't touch me. Anyway, gonna go for the play rough and finish this game up nicely. And you are just absolutely infatuated with that ring, aren't you? It's all right, so am I. It's a beautiful ring. Your mommy got it for me special, and it's amazing. Cherish it. All right, terrible lead in the next game with a Tentacruel. I'm out. I'm going straight to Kingdra. I'm not going to bring in my Alolan Sandslash in this game. Honey, why are you getting upset? You're going to get down if you want to get... Oh, okay, bye. She wants to get down. So we're swapping Kingdra here to try and draw out a hard counter, potentially, that Azumarill might be able to, you know, farm down or get some sort of an advantage with, but instead they have decided to stay in with the Tentacle, and then they come in with an Araquanid, which was really interesting to me. I haven't seen too many Araquanids, except for obviously the one that I was trying to play before this, that kept getting blasted by Blaziken and Bastiodon. So thankfully my opponent wasn't taking a super great count. It's kind of hard to do that though with these, but my opponent then brings in Lantern, which I now realize that the Lantern kind of bones most of my team. So I'm going to go be able to get this player off before they're going to be able to get to the Thunderbolt, and then with two shields I'm just hoping that I can get to a couple Bulldozes against the Lantern and take it out. So in this particular case, I'm not running my Shadow Alolan Sandslash, although I do have both. Look at her go, dude. I prefer in this cup to have a little bit of extra bulk. I don't feel like I need the Shadow. It's just a preference thing. Like, I don't want the Shadow in this case, basically. I feel like being able to survive the charge moves and have the extra bulk is probably worth it in this cup, especially with all the fast move damage that's happening. My charge moves aren't going to have as much of an impact as being able to survive that damage. Like, the Shadow would have been completely destroyed already. So I swap out, preserving that Ice Punch just in case I need it in the end of the game here. And then I should be able to get to two player offs, hopefully, against the Araquanid that is now debuffing me, and I'm going to have to eat another Bubble Beam before the next player off comes out, so I may very well need that Ice Punch. So it's very good of me that I had that foresight, because otherwise I might have been screwed. This is probably one of the longer games that I'm going to have. Most of them were actually just, here's a Blaziken, and here's the rest of the team behind the Blaziken, and hopefully you don't screw it up. But I do decide to overfarm a little bit just because I know that the Lantern's back here, but they actually bring in the Lantern here, which is really, really awkward for me. So I'm trying to catch, and I actually am able to CMP tie on that Ice Punch here. that opponent did not throw the energy right away, which was good. So this is actually going to allow me now to reset the debuff on my my Azumarill, and because I'm only one away from the play rough, I'm gonna be able to beat the Araquanid just barely. So well played to my opponent. That was a rough game for both of us, but we, you know, it was a very well fought battle. So well done, good game here. We're gonna move on to the next one. Get a Lantern lead in the next one. Not quite what I was hoping for. Of course, you know, as soon as I start playing this Azumarill team, all the Blazikens in the world seem to have disappeared. Lantern is that one that I thought I was going to try and be smart and safe swap in my Alolan Sandslash. And then my opponent doesn't try to catch the Bulldoze here. I actually learned, I think, from this battle, I think this actually was my loss. Just safe swap the freaking Kingdra. Like, just safe swap the Kingdra. Because Kingdra's just a better safe swap. And I actually find out, I think, that my opponent had Poison Jabbers or something in the back. Actually, yeah, you're gonna see. So I'm gonna be able to get 2 shields off the opponent. So I'm okay. That's fine. I'll let this go. I got 2 shields. So what else can go wrong, right? What could possibly go wrong here? So I'm gonna bring in my Kingdra at this point, and my opponent is going to continue to farm up, and I will have to use my last shield to shield at the Thunderbolt, because I'm like, whatever's in the back does not like something, or they have another answer in the back for Azumarill. So I am gonna go and try to farm down here, but they are able to reach a last-second move, unfortunately, and I didn't think that this was going to be enough, but it looks like this is actually going to be enough for a Thunderbolt. That's going to hurt. And then they have a Bomb of Snow in the back, going to go for the Outrage and hit a lot of damage with this Kingdra here. Why are you such a cranky butt? You're silly. Come here, cranky. What's wrong? And then they have a Toxapex in the back, so I just top left. Like, yeah, there's no way. There's no way I'm getting past. That is just hard to counter from top to back, or front to back. So, got a Swampert lead here. Opponent safe swap and a Frostlass, which means that they really don't have a really good answer for the Azumarill. And so I'm picking Hydro Pump on my Azumarill because I want that extra oomph. And if I have to deal with a Steel type, my Azumarill is going to be basically bad. So there's no real thing for me to hit with Ice Beam in this meta. So I'm going to actually come in now with my Alolan Sandslash. Look to get a really nice farm down here, and maybe hit it with an Ice Punch to clip it from hitting a charge move here. And my opponent baits me with an Avalanche, which really was not a good idea. My Alolan Sandslash can tank a Shadow Ball, so there was no need for me to shield that regardless. And I'm able to get this Ice Punch off. Now my opponent's going to come in with a Swampert, and I'm going to get at least one Ice Punch off before they go for a Hydro Cannon. I assume it would take me out. But my opponent is going to actually let me get to 2 Ice Punches here, which is really nice. And they're going to have to be forced to shield this or take a lot of damage on their Swampert still. And so they decide to let it go, and that means their Swampert's basically toast. So at this point, it's Kingdra versus the world, maybe Azumarill versus the world, depending on what's in the back. So we're going to see what they have, and they have an Alolan Sandslash. So what I'm looking to do here is I'm going to go for the debuff here on Octazooka, and then if they get the debuff, I'm probably going to come with my Azumarill. I can't come in with Azumarill if I don't get the debuff, though, although they just shielded, so now I know with 2 shields I can just go for a Hydro Pump and take it out. And then Swampert's low enough. You want to go to bed. You should just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. You should just go to sleep. You have been fighting your naps. All day. You should go to sleep. You should go to sleep. Opponent's going to go straight for the Bulldoze. I'm going to overfarm a little bit just to see if I can get to a play rough against that Swampert. You are a sleepy girl. I know you are. Poor little Maggie. Oh, and then my opponent just decides to concede as the baby does a barrel roll in my lap. Hi. You know better now? Okay, so he hit on a Blaziken. Now everything's paying off, right? Everything seems to be coming together here. My opponent's going to bring in a Sandslash. That is not a counter, and it's running Powder Snow, so that is definitely not a response to an Azumarill. And so I'm going to actually stay in here, and I'm going to go for Hydro Pump. I don't care. I'm just going for Hydro Pump. I don't even care. My opponent decides to shield it. That's fine. I can stave my Kingdra for their Blaziken. And at this point, because they're running Powder Snow, what I could do here is I could definitely just come in with my Sandslash, but then if I do that, they're going to be able to farm it all the way down with the Blaziken. So I'd actually rather just farm down and let them choose what they're going to come in with here, and they come in with a Whiscash. So I'm going to be able to go for this Hydro Pump. They're not going to bring their Blaziken back into an Azumarill regardless, especially if it has loaded energy. So I'm going to get their shield here with a Hydro Pump, and then my opponent's going to be forced to throw a move here in order to take my Azumarill out, which is fine with me. Because once again, I have a Kingdra. My Kingdra can basically finish this game for me, but I'm going to come in with my Sandslash here just to get some use out of it. because I fully intend to just save my shields for my Kingdra and let it just Dragon Breath the living everything out of the 2 Pokemon that they've got left. So, hi, what happened? What happened? Where'd you go? Oh no, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Okay, so the Kingdra comes in now. We are poised for a sweep with 2 shields. I can get the Octazooka with the Octazooka off here against the Blaziken, easily finish up their last shield, and then I can just farm it down, and they actually get the debuff too, which is really nice, but they're going to farm up to a nuke. So I'm going to respect it, because even if it's a debuff, that is a lot of damage that I would be taking, and I'd rather not. So Blast Burn is double resisted, and I know that they're probably rocking Blast Burn Blaze Kick like I was in my last video with the Blaziken, so, I mean, it wouldn't have taken me out, but I wasn't taking that chance. I'm going to go for the Outrage and take out the Whiscash. That's a good game. So coming up into this next battle here, we've got Azumarill versus yet another Blaziken. So now it really feels like, okay, I'm finally hitting the 50-50 side of the coin, where I'm finally finding the Blazikens instead of the Tentacruels and the Toxapexes and all the other things. So Azumarill is going to go straight for Player Off, take out the Blaziken, and then my opponent's going to come in with a Kingdra, and then they've got a Poliwrath in the back. So Kingdra is just going to destroy the rest of this team here. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm shielding this up because this could potentially be a big move. My opponent's Poliwrath is going to continue to farm up. I'm going to go for an Octazooka bait here. The Lantern really would be a bad thing for my Azumarill to deal with, but at this point, like, I've got so much of an advantage against my opponent here. After the debuff, I am going to be able to no-shield this Dynamic Punch. My opponent decides to just kind of confuse. Well played. Lantern in the lead. Again, another terrible lead. So swapping into Kingdra this time, and it is actually a Water Gun Lantern. I didn't notice until I swapped. So that's even better because they're all double resisted Water Guns, but yeah, so this is a team that did pretty well. I mean, oh, you paused it, you little munker. Little monkey butt. Kicking my space probably. This was one of those teams I just kind of made spur in the moment. Shared it with the patron server. I didn't really get as much feedback on this one because it was just kind of one of those, like, I played it at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, and shared it. But I think everybody's still having much more luck with the Blaziken team, despite it being one of the more known teams. But I think really what it is the Kingdra is just so OP, and everything else that's in between is just whatever. You just looking like you're very uncomfortable here, baby. You just looking like you're very uncomfortable. I hope you're having fun. Yeah. I had fun. I had fun hard countering all of these Blazikens from back to front. It was kind of great. Alright, so opponent's got Blaziken left, opponent's got Lantern left. Because they're running a Water Gun Lantern, I actually know that I can stay in here for a bit, get this Player off, and then dip to my Sand Slash and just do what I can with Sand Slash. I know that all I need to do here is get my Azumarill to just bubble down or play rough or take out the Blaziken. So a Surf is going to come through from the opponent, and then they're going to get another Surf off, which is good for me because that actually provides the Blaziken with less farm. If I were my opponent, I think the play there would have definitely been to just not throw the Surf and just farm all the way down with Blaziken and just see if a Brave Bird would have been enough. So, hey, look, another Blaziken. I finally found them. They're all running Blaziken in this particular ELO range. And this is, I mean, most of my battles lately have been on the 2600 ELO range. I did tank after hitting Legend because, honestly, I've said it before, I'd rather play teams in an ELO where you guys are actually going to be maybe using these teams in. No one cares what team I hit the leaderboards with because you're watching these videos to get ideas for teams to help you climb. So here we are in the 2500 ELO range playing teams like this, and so you're seeing what I'm seeing and what I'm playing against, and this is the same exact kind of stuff that you guys are going to see because most of you are in this range, and if you're not, you're getting there, and you will get there. I have all of my faith that all of you will eventually break out of the pits and hopefully get up to a higher ELO range, because I've seen a lot of people be like, hey, stuck in the 2200s, sucks to the pits, everybody's running everything here, and all you can do with that range is improve your own gameplay. Down in that range, that's a lot of people that haven't mastered some of the game mechanics yet, maybe move counting or move timing, a lot of that stuff. If you can elevate your own gameplay, you know, ow, ooh, girl, you have smacked me in the face one too many times today. if you can find yourself, you know, a coach that you like, or you can find yourself, you know, some sort of resources that are going to help you to really just kind of learn more about the game mechanics and just elevate your play to the next level. That'll help you break out of that elo range, because the team is only part of it, but what really is going to come down to is it's going to come down to you as a player. And I know I kind of ranted about this in my last week's video a bit, but just kind of just finishing that rant here. And I think that I saw a tweet from Rise to Occasion on Twitter. He actually put it the best, that 50-50 chances of you getting a good or a bad lead, and it's going to be those neutral games where you're not hard countered one way or the other, because like you and your opponents, like, just as many times as you get hard countered, you're going to hard counter them in return, and that's not always going to necessarily be skill. Like this matchup right here, this is not skill. This is just me getting really favorable lead to my opponent and them not having an answer to my Azumarill in the back. Like, this isn't me being skillful, this is just me having a good team alignment. Now, it's going to be what happens in the neutral matchups that happen to be where those wins and losses are going to come from. And if you can get the skills and the mastery of the games to be able to take that, you know, neutral, like if you get like Metacham into a Lantern, like, you know, neutral stuff, the stuff that's not hard counter matchups or RPS. Your game mastery and knowledge is what's going to really take you to the next level and really help you get to that higher elo now. Boy, you really need to go to sleep, Mags. Hold on, let's finish this up and then we'll get you to bed, baby. So Ice Punch, yeah, so here's Blaziken's going to come in and punch my lights out with Sand Slash. Azumarill is going to come in, and I'm assuming the opponent probably doesn't have an answer. Now, I do have to shield this Brave Bird up, even though I don't think it would KO necessarily, but ow, you keep hitting me in the face. It's not very nice. Oh, no, I don't have to shield it. That's fine. So Sand Slash is going to get me very low here. I'm going to go for a Hydro Pump. I'm hoping they maybe don't shield it. They will, though. And then I'm going to come in with my Kingdra, and all I can really do here is try and take them out. But my opponent has the hard answer to my Kingdra. So even though I RPS them 2/3 of the game, their Sand Slash actually ends up being the key to victory. You are just a miserable little child. Poor little girl. She's a very sad baby today. She's going to go to sleep very soon. So just going to finish this up here. Octazooka is going to go through. It's not going to get the debuff, and that pretty much is the nail in the coffin for me, unfortunately. Ice Punch is going to be enough without that debuff to take me out. And Azumarill has like 2 HP left, and that's going to go down to a Shadow Claw. And that's going to be it. So last game in the video here, we've got an Azumarill again into a Gastrodon, which was some of the spiciest that I've seen in this entire cup yet. So opponent's going to stay in. We're both going to just have at it. I don't remember the counts for Gastrodon, despite having played so much of the Sinnoh Cup back in when it was around. But 7 is the count to the Earth Power. And so we're going to get the Earth Power off, or they're going to get the Earth Power off. And then I'm going to go for the Hydro Pump, try and take out the Gastrodon. They're not going to shield. I'm immediately going to switch into Kingdra because I should be able to farm down before they get to a move. But they're going to follow up with their own Kingdra. And then I'm going to go for the Outrage. I want shields. That's okay. I think my Sand Slash can do work here. So I'm going to go for this Outrage, going to get the shield, and I'm going to do a bunch of Dragon Breath damage before going down. And then I'm going to come in with my Sand Slash. I will tank this move. I'm going to leave Azumarill alive. And she's being adorable playing with Little Bag right now. So cute. And I'll be able to farm all the way down. And now the nice thing is that the Ice Punches from my Sand Slash should definitely be enough. And the fact that they didn't swap out, and the fact that they have Kingdra in the back, I'm hoping that maybe what they have in the back as well is also not favorable into Azumarill. So we're going to find out that they have a Toxapex in the back, which is very favorable into Azumarill. But you were going to see just how strong the Sand Slash is and why I'm glad I didn't pick a Shadow now. So 1 Bulldoze, and I have 2 shields. So my opponent essentially just has to farm me down, but the Bulldoze is going to be enough to take out these Toxapex and 2 Bulldozes. So this is actually looking to be a good game here. Takes out the Toxapex. My opponent decides to throw a charge move here just because they think they're being funny, and just get farmed down, man. It's all over. Anyway, well played to my opponents here. Good game. Game glitched on me and had some weird stuff happen. So didn't get the end of set or anything on the camera. It just kind of cut off after that. So anyway, great team here. Very useful if you really want to punish the Blazikens, which is obviously why you probably clicked on the video. And real quick plugs, if you want to join the Patreon Discord, best community I've ever been a part of for Go Battle League and PvP in general, as well as getting early access to all of my meta stuff, tips, tricks, everything under the sun for PvP. There's a link in the description for Patreon. You can join that, as well as becoming a member of the channel will get you the same game perks, there's a couple of different options you can pick for those. If you're looking for the included coaching, they'll go to Patreon. And if you're looking for coaching, speaking of by itself, without becoming a member of the channel or becoming a patron, you can go ahead and check out the Medify link in my description, and that will also have a list of all of the courses that I offer to help you get to the next level in PvP. So thank you all so much for watching. It's time to put the baby to bed, even though I said I was going to put the baby to bed in the last video. She had a cookie, and she said no, and there she goes. She's being cute. Look at this. Look at her. Just walking around being cute as heck. So, I don't know. We'll see. She probably won't be in bed for the next one either, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.